You're listening to the Law of Attraction Radio Network.
The secret to well-being is discovering the power that is your birthright, the power to create a happier, healthier life, drawn from our own vast internal resources. Join Jules and her guests as they gently guide you to shift your perspective from the familiar negative to the divinely connected, a place that will not only positively impact your world, but possibly shift the planet. It's all right here on Law of Attraction Talk Radio.
Well, welcome to Law of Attraction Talk Radio. I'm Jules from beautiful Southern California, and I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled that you could be with me because this is a phenomenal show and one that you must listen to. I have a gal from San Diego, yes, another Southern California girl, who is going to be talking about health, specifically about how using Mother Nature is the best cure for anything that ails you. And I know this because she is my herbalist, and she has literally changed my life in just a few short weeks. I am totally amazed. Dr. Toni Camacho is with us, and you are going to learn so much and be so impressed. Before that, though, I've got to tell you a big announcement. I'm thrilled about it, and I don't know if I could even do this without what I just got from Dr. Camacho. Law of Attraction Radio Network is having a major Law of Attraction cruise. Again, I can't believe it's been way over 2 years since we've had the last one, and I have had so many listeners sending me emails saying, when are we going to have another cruise? Well, guess what? We booked it. We're going to do it. It is April 8th through April 13th, 2019. It's a 5-night cruise. It's going out of New Orleans. Yeah, that's pretty cool. To Cozumel, and it also stops in Yucatan. And it's 5 glorious, attitude-changing. Oh, attitude-changing is right. Cruise with like-minded people. Oh my goodness. So I want you to go to loaradionetwork.com and just click the menu button that says LOA Cruise. That has all the details there. You are not going to miss it. You can call up our cruise planners, talk to them, put in your deposit now. Because what's really incredible is that the cruise rate might actually go down. And, you know, sometimes it really does go down, and you're going to be paying a lot less than you anticipated. So that's the good news. And besides, we're the law of attraction. Why can't your rate go down? Of course it can. And we're going to make that happen. So I want to tell you who's coming on board. So far, we have got the beautiful Constance Arnold, who's coming in. And you know she is a dynamic speaker. She is just incredible. She teaches you the things that you need to know, and you're going to go, oh my God, this is incredible. And we have the most incredible psychic, medium, everything, Dr. Michael Mosley, who is one of my most favorite people in the whole world. I just love this man. He's going to be on there with his beautiful wife. And we have Gary Timble Bodley coming, who channels Joshua. And it's so much fun to have your questions answered by Joshua. This is so terrific. And I know he was on the last cruise and everybody just fell in love with him. And we have got Paula Kidd Casey coming along, who you know as the lawyer of attraction. You know, she is so wonderful. She really is a law of attraction expert who was trained by her mentor, Bob Proctor. So you are going to absolutely love her. Now, we're going to have other wonderful workshop speakers coming your way, but right now we wanted to get this cruise up and running so that you can come and take advantage, get your deposit in immediately. Final payment day is not until February, so you're going to have time. You can make payments to our cruise planners and they'll take it over and make sure the cruise lines gets it. It's just too great of a cruise for you to miss. You're going to love this. So I want you to sign up for this right away. I also want to mention that the Law of Attraction magazine comes out next week, November 1st, and is featuring none other than James Van Praagh, who is the incredible author and TV medium. You know, do you remember that show, The Ghost Whisperer, that starred Jennifer Hewitt? Well, he was the creator and producer of that. I had no idea, but he is terrific, and he gives us an incredible exclusive interview that you are going to learn a lot from this dynamic man. But I got to tell you, I love talking to him. He is so down to earth, so incredible, but yet he's so famous. I mean, everybody knows him internationally. So I am thrilled to be bringing James Van Praagh directly to you. Let's take a fast commercial break, and then we're going to be back with one of the most important shows you're going to hear that will not only help you to manifest your dreams, truthfully will, but it's also going to correct any physical issues that you have, all by herbs. I got to tell you, this has changed my life. So this is not a show that you want to miss. You're going to love it.
It's here, it's hot, and it's a must read. It's the science behind the Law of Attraction magazine. Every issue brings you great articles and in-depth how-tos from all your favorite Law of Attraction experts, authors, scientists, and medical professionals. Go to lawofattractionmagazine.net. That's lawofattractionmagazine.net.
Well, welcome, Toni, to Law of Attraction Talk Radio. I am so thrilled that you're with me because we've got a world of stuff to talk about that listeners are going to go gaga over. I'm so excited about this. And just a disclaimer up front, I have used her products and her services, and it has changed my life in as little as 2 weeks. So I want you all to sit up, pay attention, no matter what you're doing right now. You've got to hear this because it will really change your life too. You're going to love this. So, Dr. Camacho, thank you so much for being with me today. I am just... I can't stop raving about your program to the world here. This is just phenomenal.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you for having me, and thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm really excited because my goal is to help as many people as possible heal naturally, and it's so exciting. Thank you for the opportunity.
And this is all about you working your magic with herbs. Mother Nature.
Yes.
And it's not chemicals like you're getting from the Western medicine. You're getting Mother Nature. And how perfect is that for the body?
Yes. It is amazing. I think Mother Nature just gave us everything we need to stay healthy. Everything is out there. And we just need to go back to our roots, which is going back to nature. And I know a lot of people have misconceptions. They think that herbs don't work. And a lot of it is because our society has just shunned them and set them aside. And also because we don't use the right amount of herbs. It's very important to use high quality products. And nowadays with everything using pesticides and GMOs, and of course you're going away from nature, so nature's not working. But if you obtain the products right from the earth and they're organic and no pesticides, they do work. And you do need to know how to make medicine in order for it to work. Everything that's in the stores, because we're so afraid for lawsuits, they make them less potent because they don't want to make it medicinal. Right. And because they want you to buy more. But the fact is that if you take herbs in the right amount, in the right quantity, they're going to be effective. And like you said, in less than 2 weeks, you saw changes in your life. But
now, this, as a disclosure, again, I was trying to treat myself, and I'm not a PhD. I was simply using the internet to find things that can treat Candida, can treat hormones and adrenals and everything. I really didn't know what was wrong with me. But I was using some of the correct herbs, but not nearly the strength that I needed to wipe it out. And that was my downfall. And I spent hundreds of dollars simply because I didn't know what I was doing. This is what I'm trying to tell my audience is pay attention here, because you've got to go to an expert, and literally it will totally, I mean, I can't even tell you the changes in my life. I mean, I'm actually walking 2 miles every single morning. It's like, that's never happened before in my life. So it's like changes are incredible right now.
Yes, and even experts, you have to really know how to make medicine. So you have to be careful who you choose from. There's so many people right now that claim to know natural medicine, and I could tell you, even for my own experience, when I first got started, like 20-something years ago, and I was giving herbs to clients, and I'm like, why do they sometimes work, but sometimes they don't work? Because I was sending them go to Sprouts or go to Jimbo's, go to the health food store and buy these herbs. And I'm like, why do some people get better and others don't? And it wasn't until like maybe 5 years later that I met this teacher named John Finch. And he said, they do work, but you need to know how to use them. You need to know how to make medicine. You need to know what herbs go well together and ones don't, and how much you need to put. He says, the little bottles that you buy at the health food store, those won't, they're too small. 30 drops, 20 drops is not enough. You know?
Take it from me. It's not enough. It's not. I can't.
So I make my own. That's why. So he taught me how to make medicine. So and he taught me how to create like the right formulas in the right amount and how to extract them correctly, and also using a scientific method. So every single time I'm extracting the same amount of medicine from the plants. And it's wonderful, because as soon as I started making medicine, my practice just completely turned upside down in a good way, 360, 80, what is it, 180 degrees. It was amazing. Just people could not stop talking about me, and they just kept referring me more people, because they change. And, they keep saying that it's me, but the truth is not me, it's Mother Nature, it's the plants. I just know how to bring them together, but plants itself have the intelligence to heal us. Any diseases. I've seen clients with MRSA that come to me, or some other other microbes that are resistant to antibiotics, and they have been on antibiotic after antibiotic, and then I'm just like, here you go. And I give in something as simple as garlic and oregano, and they're like, in 2 days, oh my God, it's almost gone, and it didn't cause any side effects at all.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. There's no rebound effect from the plants.
So you have to stop and think, well, wait a minute. People have been living on this planet for so many years, thousands of years. And they all use plants. They all use Mother Nature. And in the last 50 years, we went away from Mother Nature and into the chemicals. And those chemicals do side effects, make your life miserable. I took antibiotics recently, and I thought I was going to, that was it. I was ready to just give up life right there. Yeah, and then I talked to you, and it's like, oh my God, I finally got hope. 2 weeks later, I'm a different person. So Mother Nature is the best way to go. Now, you will take clients over the internet. And just as we're talking right now, you can have the same conversation with somebody in Paris or Israel or anywhere in the world, and that you can help them get the herbs that they need to change their life, right?
Yes, that's correct. And my current clients are all over the country right now. So it really doesn't matter where you are. I can work with you and I can see you. And it's great. I mean, the internet now makes everything easier.
Yeah. And then she has the package mailed to you, and oh my goodness, it's just fabulous. So you're also trying to teach people, and you have a 12-week course that you're instructing people, the Ultimate Health Program. But what's really special about it is that you're giving away your brand new book.
Yes.
With the program plus products. So tell us about that, because I think this is something that everybody needs to take advantage of.
Yeah, so my 12-week to Ultimate Health Program is what I'm doing is it's actually more of a health coaching project. And what it is I can start working with you immediately, just like you said, over the internet. And it's 12 weeks. The first week I sit with you for like 75 minutes, and we talk about what's wrong with you, all your symptoms, and what medication are you taking, what are your goals to, what do you want to feel like after the program, and also if you have personal goals, because to me, healing is holistic. The herbs and nutrition, everything helps, but also you need to correct the way you're thinking and what your behaviors in order for not to get sick again. So we set those goals. We identify all your issues, like I said, not only physical, but also emotionally. And then from them, we go and we meet every week, let's say on Monday, but you pick the day that you want. And then we talk and we see the progress that you've been making every week. And then we assign new tasks. It could be breathing exercises, food that you need to eat, herbs that you need to take, meditation, whatever it is, it's personalized. So it's whatever you need, I'll personalize it for you. And then the other advantage of this program, which is great, is that you get an accountability partner. And this is an optional thing, but you will have somebody that you can talk to every day for, it's only 5 minutes, so because we don't want to overwhelm everybody. And so it's just a 5-minute call that says, hey, what did you do yesterday? And what are you going to do today? And did you have problems accomplishing what you said you were going to do yesterday? If so, how can I help you to remove those obstacles so you're able to be successful today? And so this is like a complete support program so you can get healthy with somebody by your side. I think we're going away from community and talking to people, and especially in the healthcare. You go to the doctor and you're lucky if you get to see them 10 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes would be a long session. And to me, healing has to be one-on-one. Somebody needs to support you. Somebody needs to be there for you, because when you don't feel alone, you feel like anything is possible. So that's part of the program. Nowadays, you can do this program or that program, but they're all online. And then you have to watch it on your own. And if you have questions, you can submit them, and then somebody somewhere, I don't know, they will answer them. You don't know when. Or you have a group session on Facebook, and there's like hundreds of people asking questions, and you're lucky if your question get answered. This is one-on-one. This is me with you and just supporting you, which is the most important thing. I'm going to be there with you. You'll have my cell phone and my email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And the accountability partner might be somebody different, but if you need to escalate, they will come get me and say, hey, Toni, this person needs you right now. Every week we'll reassess if we need to change your formulas, your herbal supplements, which I'm including for the first 3 months. If you sign up for the program, there you go. You're going to get your dish with all the herbs, basic herbs for the first 3 months, and you don't have to worry about it. And then I'll just tell you when now you need to grab this out of the package and take it. And then the next week you're going to take this. Again, you're not going to be alone. I think that's the great value of it. You know, then like you said, the book is included, and everything that I'll be teaching you is going to be in the book. But again, it's different when somebody's there with you, supporting you through the process.
Yeah. And I want to talk about the law of attraction right this minute, because if you don't have your health, it's real tough to manifest what you want.
Oh, I agree.
Including good health. If you don't have your health, that's the basis for manifesting and really creating the life that you want. So that's number one. You have to get your health good. But number two is Toni is a trainer trained by Jack Canfield himself.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty spectacular, because you're talking to not only a health expert, you're talking to a law of attraction expert.
Yes.
So this is what is so incredible. She understands the principle. It's so totally unlike Western medicine.
Yes.
So I just literally, my life has changed because of Toni. And in such a short period of time, but she's never going to be able to get away from me. I love this woman.
And going back to the law of attraction, what you said is amazing. Yeah, it is. If you're not in a frame of mind where you want to manifest even health, it is very difficult. And that's why when I start the program, the first thing I do is let's take care of the symptoms. Let's get you to a place where you can actually think. You know, if you're having pain, if you're having itchiness, if you can't sleep, how can you manifest?
Yeah.
Like you said, including health. So the first thing I do is, okay, let's get rid of all the symptoms. And then now you can focus. That's when we go, let's start visualizing and let's start creating affirmations for your health. And I also use flower essences. A lot of people don't do this. And this is a technique that I have been using is I add flower essences to my tinctures, which encourage change and self-healing. And that's more of an energetic.
Really?
Yeah, they go to your aura and your etheric body, and they try to restore at that level and try to help you and promote you to health. And so that's another thing I add to my tinctures that's unique that I haven't seen anybody else done. But it helps a lot.
Wow. So you add the flower essence to the tinctures?
Yes.
Okay. And I know a lot of people have it for aromatherapy too. They'll spray it on them too. Does that work?
Yeah, aromatherapy works too at a different level. That's also at a physical level. They're made with plant extracts, and flower essences are more energy. They actually take the flower under the sun, and then there's a bottle of water underneath it, and then the water gets the imprint of the plant, the energy of the plant, and that's what I use to add it to the tinctures. It's very fascinating, but they work. They have tested them in animals and children, so it's not a placebo. They actually see them work.
I love this. Okay, so we're talking the herbs, Mother Nature, the law of attraction, flower essence. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that you can help like immediately. One of these things that I just discovered, because you sent me a big bottle of hormones and adrenal support. I got to tell you, I'm going, okay, I don't know if I need this, but boy, did that pack a wallop, because if you have adrenal problems, you are a very stressed out, not a likable person. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
You are stressed out to the max. The only thing that's going to work is that adrenal support. And again, 2 weeks, my stress level has totally changed. Amazing.
What people don't know about adrenals too is that it is the basis for a lot of the way our body functions. Like the thyroid depends on the adrenals working correctly. Your hormones depend on your adrenals working correctly. They play such a key role into health, and we rarely hear that. You know, I never, a medical doctor told me that they're so important. And yet we are constantly under stress and constantly watching stressful shows in the news, and all of that is taxing our adrenals. It's not only, again, affecting our possibility for manifesting, because then we're feeling negative, but negativity also drains the adrenal glands. And then all of a sudden your body's not working correctly, And then we got PMS, and we got people with hypothyroidism, and there's like, well, what's going on? And it's, traffic, worrying over mortgage, any of those are stressors to our adrenals. And the adrenals are something that in Chinese medicine, they look at it as you are born with a certain amount of, let's call it juice, and it's kind of like money. You either invest it, waste it, or, live with what you have. And so if you want to be smart, is you're trying to invest in your adrenals, which is having good sleep and learning how to meditate so you're not under stress. And, if you have bad relationships, working towards changing that. And again, everything aligns with the law of attraction, right? Which is trying to live with gratitude and a positive state of mind. It's incredible to say that our health ties into the law of attraction, but it does. It does.
It's amazing. And do you know, it's almost impossible to have a good meditation when you don't have the proper level of adrenals going.
Yeah.
It's like you can't concentrate. And then you're stressed and stressed and stressed. Dr. Bruce Lipton told me that before, it's a fight or flight frequency. So you have one drop, and it's okay, and it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
In this day and age, people are having a constant drip. So
Yes.
The majority of the people have adrenal problems.
Yes.
I will have to say that. And if you are having problems, feeling stressed, do you know that your relief is 2 weeks away from you? Literally, your change of life, and you will feel like a totally different person. Nothing upsets you. You are like, oh my goodness, life has changed. This is powerful. The stuff is so good. Toni has the magic key that she knows how to put everything in proper portions, and so that we can drink. And I take mine twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can, I don't know. Will I ever, I'm going to need it for the rest of my life, or will it stop? Will I stop needing it, or what?
So this is the great thing about plants, is that they try to, it's not like medicine. If you're taking medicine, you're constantly depending on something because it's just curing the symptoms and not fixing you, right?
Right.
The herbs, they restore your body. Now, if you don't change your behavior that created that problem, then yes, you're going to need it for the rest of your life. But if you take the medication while at the same time you're learning how to manage stress and think differently and change your life, then you won't need it anymore. It's incredible how it works. And I'll tell you by personal experience, I had adrenal fatigue, and this is what I'm trying to avoid. Most people are in your situation where you can just grab them and in 2 weeks get them ready. When I had adrenal fatigue, I couldn't even stay awake for more than a couple of hours a day. My son was 1 year old, and I picked him up, and I couldn't even pick him up. He just fell out of my arms. Didn't have the strength. Couldn't even watch TV. Anything on TV that was a little bit stressful just set me off. So I couldn't even feel stress. It was horrible. I lost 12 pounds in 1 week, and I kept going to doctors, and the doctors just kept saying, it's in your head. It can't be in my head. Look at my body. It can't be in my head. Oh, you're probably depressed. I said, I'm not depressed. I want to live. I want to be healthy. And nobody feels like, well, if I was depressed, I wouldn't have hope. Now, they took me to a place where I lost hope, because I'm like, everybody's telling me I'm crazy, that it's in my head, that these symptoms, that I'm depressed. Well, maybe I am depressed. And I'm not a person that quits. And I had already, since I was a child, I love herbs and natural medicine. So I was already kind of, familiar with it. And so I just like, you know what, I'm going to go talk to somebody in alternative medicine. And then, like you said, even at the extreme case, within 2 weeks, I gained back my weight because I couldn't eat. That was my problem. Every time I ate, I vomit. I couldn't sustain any nutrition. And so I was eating only soups to get nourishment. And that's how I lost all that weight. And somebody just told me, no, you have adrenal fatigue. Because they asked me about my life, which no doctor did. And I said, well, I work 3 hours a week, and have a baby and I'm staying at home, and they're like, you have adrenal fatigue. It wasn't even 5 minutes into the consultation. They said, take vitamin C and take vitamin B and then take these herbs and start eating. And I started gaining my strength back. Now, my case was very severe, so it took me a year to come back to normal. But within a few months, I was able to walk, because I couldn't walk either more than like a couple of 100 feet, and I just got exhausted. And so then I started walking, and all of a sudden I was walking a mile, and then 2 miles, and then by the end of the year I was walking 5 miles on my own and without having any problems. And so it took me a little bit longer than most people, but again, I was
really severe.
Yes. And that's what I want to help people. I don't want them to get to that extreme. It's a horrible place to be at.
Yeah, it's true.
Resources.
But how many doctors, and I'm talking to the listening audience out there, how many doctors have told you it's all in your head? I mean, or they're just saying, oh, you know, it's okay, that's going to pass and everything. Yeah. Take this antibiotic. Oh my goodness. So it's like, okay, now I want everybody to pay attention, because here's your answer. I'm not kidding you. And I wouldn't be on here unless I experienced it myself, but no longer are you alone.
Yes.
And this is, you're on your way to changing your life in a matter of a few weeks. And I can only vouch for Toni. She's incredible. Although the tinctures don't really taste that good.
Yes. Yes.
Because they're potent, but that's okay. I'll take them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I did put in my book. It's like medicine is not supposed to taste like candy, right? And so it is part of also nature protecting us, because they are medicine, right? So if it tastes good and if child gets to it, guess what? They're going to overdose, right? Or a person. So it's a way of nature taking care of you. And so especially the most potent are the worst tasting. But also in extreme quantities are also the most toxic, right? And so that's why they're that. But it is, you know, in this country, I think we coat the medicine to taste good. I don't know why, but it's a bad thing. Plus, the taste, for example, the bitterness, it also starts digestion and it starts the liver working. And so there's a purpose for the taste, you know. But I will be honest, they are pretty bad tasting. Now I tried to make the teas not as bad tasting as the tinctures, but they're less. I don't use antimicrobial teas because of that reason. So if they're nurturing teas, then they're going to be tasting more like plants. You know, it's not going to be horrible.
So if you use stevia, will that affect the tincture at all?
No, I mean, it is a different plant, and now you're adding the chemical constituent of the stevia. But the stevia is such a mild plant, and you're not going to put a lot of it in it, that it's going to be fine. And usually I tell people, dilute it in water, and if you're really bad at taking bitterness, then put it in juice. You know, not a ton of juice, maybe an ounce of juice. Like grape juice is great for masking it, or orange juice mask the taste because they're strong.
Right.
That's something you could do.
Wow. Okay, so let's move on. I mean, we could go for hours on this show, but I want to talk about how to diagnose some of the things, because you have really, just through the internet and our conversation, you could diagnose me what was wrong with me. So you didn't have to see me in person. You didn't have to have any blood tests. You basically, and what was really incredible, you had me take pictures of my tongue, because you read the tongue and what that means for the body, what the body is going through, right?
Yeah, so I use different techniques, both Western and Eastern way of diagnosing. And the Western is I ask for your symptoms, and usually it gives me an idea if it's a microbe or is it something else. And to tell you the truth, the majority of people in this country, their issue comes from toxicity and deficiency. So as soon as you start addressing that, you start seeing the changes, which is what happened to you immediately. I started nourishing you and detoxifying you, and immediately you start to see changes. And then I take that to the next level. I watch your behavior, even how you're dressed and the color of your skin and how you move. And that's more the Eastern way, more the energetic. What is that telling me about your personality? And certain personalities tend to carry certain illnesses or create certain illnesses. And I use the 5-element theory, which is a Chinese medicine and Japanese medicine, even Indian medicine use it to diagnose. And again, depending on behavior and the colors you're wearing and your personality, then you can classify a person within those 5 elements. And then what I try to do is see excess and try to balance them. And then going back to what you mentioned, the tongue doesn't diagnose everything, but it does tell you parts of your body and what dysfunctions are in there, like gross dysfunctions. Like you could see, like a normal tongue will be slightly pale, but not too pale, kind of pinkish, and it's not too thick and it's not too thin. And so you start looking for discolorations, you start looking for waves and cracks and like super red parts or blue. Some people even have blue. And it just tells you what's going on in the body. Is there a lot of heat? Is there a lot of mucus? And then the tongue is, they believe that the Chinese medicine believes that each organ is in a different part of the tongue. So,
wow.
For example, like in the liver is like red or swollen, then I know that I have to work with that liver. And if I see it in the kidneys or the spleen, if I see a lot of white on it or coating, then I know it's like, okay, this organ needs attention. And also underneath the tongue, you can see certain things. And so, I mean, it is a complex subject, but it is one of the things that that tells you what's going on.
That's amazing. I love this stuff. So you really can make a dramatic difference fast. Now, one of the things that I have is Candida, and that's from either eating too much sweets or even drinking alcohol because of the sugar. So that people say it takes like years and years to get over it, and it's constant. But amazingly, again, in just 2 weeks, my symptoms have changed so dramatically, and I just feel 100% better. Now, this doesn't mean I can relax and go back to eating sugar or drinking a lot of good wine, but it means that I can do it later on in smaller bits. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm still healing my body, right? Talk about Candida, because that's a huge one that many people suffer from.
Yes, it is. And unfortunately, now it's systemic, right? Which is in your entire body. A lot, people were used to getting it just either yeast infection or in the mouth. But now I'm running into people that, and we see this often now, that it's like, oh, I have it for 2 years, for 3 years. So I even had a client 20 years.
Oh my God.
And can you imagine 20 years of living like that? It was just crazy. And so then I bring the herbal antimicrobials in and try to relieve the symptoms. But again, like you said, it's not like I'm just giving you a leg up, so you cannot be, your body's not under the stress of that, all the symptoms, And so now that we remove the symptoms, you still have to continue taking the antimicrobial. And how long, it will depend on how long you had it, right? And so you still take it, but at least you're not suffering anymore.
Oh,
and you change your diet and need to change the way you think and the stressors, because they're all the same. And if you have toxins in your body, we have to eliminate. You have to follow the same protocol almost for any disease. But the first thing we do is let's get rid of the symptoms, right? And yes, Candida is so prominent right now. And I think it's because everything we eat has sugar. Like the other day, I grabbed a Cliff Bar because I was hungry in the morning and I didn't have time to make breakfast. And I thought, well, they're organic. And then I'm driving and I look down, 20 grams of sugar. I'm like, whoa, 20 grams of sugar in a protein bar.
That's a lot.
I had just put it aside. This is crazy. That's my whole serving for the day of sugar. It's incredible. And then you got corn syrup and GMOs. Everything is affecting us. What's happening is our body is getting weak. Our immune system is getting weak. And so not just one culprit, it's just life in general. And then once we're weak, then there's opportunities for like Candida to overgrow, or, we get given antibiotics for anything. People they get the flu, they go to the doctor and they come back with an antibiotic. I'm like, well, did they test you? Well, no. So how do you know if it's a virus? How do you know if instead of a bacteria? If it's a virus, now you're taking an antibiotic and it's worthless, but it's, antibiotics are also in our food. If you don't buy organic meat, the cows and the pigs and everything are being fed antibiotics. And then guess what? We are what we eat. Then we eat them and we're taking that. Then the water has antibiotics now because they're treating these animals, and then the waste goes into the water, and the water has the antibiotics. So yes, we have a problem with antibiotics right now, and bacteria, resistant to antibiotics. And now we have Candida and autoimmune disorders. Your digestive system is not working correctly. The next step is going to be an autoimmune disorder. And the Candida eats part of the lining of the intestines, which is a problem. So the longer you have it, now you have permeability in the intestines, which means that you develop leaky gut, where small particles go into your bloodstream, food go into your bloodstream instead of completely being digested. And that triggers out autoimmune disorders too. 20% of our population has an autoimmune disorder nowadays. That's incredible. People. And then you go to the doctors and they tell you it's all in your head until your symptoms are like super bad. And now they give you chemicals that will make you weaker and create another autoimmune disorder. I have
exactly
autoimmune disorders.
I had rashes all over my body from Candida, and people that have psoriasis, eczema are all coming from that same place of
Toxicity.
Toxicity. Is that Candida too?
Not necessarily. It could be different, right? It depends on each person. You have to look at it. But the bottom line is toxicity. Anytime you see some rash in the body, it's like there's something in you that is not coming out. It could be that, we have a lot of chemicals in our food, like the red 40s, and the liver doesn't know what to do with them, so they just circulate in our bodies, right? But there are herbs that just attach to it, and then you can pee it out, or other ways, of finding the way out of the body. But yes, there's people overeat dairy and sugar and all of that. It's just toxicity that gets created in the body. And then you're not nourishing on top of that. And if you don't buy organic food, then it's lacking nutrients. So now you got a body that's toxic and deficient, and you get sick. Your immune system just goes out of whack.
So we really need to focus. And what you told me and had me stop was stop drinking dairy products and stop drinking milk. Go for the almond milk, go for coconut milk, go for anything other than dairy products. It makes a difference.
Goat milk could be the exception, because goat milk looks a lot like human milk, and so it's easier to digest. And so that would be an option if you're like dying to have animal milk, and try it out and see how you feel. If you still feel bad, then don't drink it, but goat milk seems to be the exception.
Wow, I didn't know that. And I often see that. What about kefir? I've never tried that.
That's really good for you too.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
But milk products are not good. And I would also think that the cows are getting the antibiotics, so you're getting some of that too.
Yes. And they're not eating the correct thing, right? Instead of eating grass, they're feeding them corn. And so if they're not healthy, you're not going to be healthy, right? Your source of food needs to be happy and healthy in order. Again, it's all energy, right? You become what you eat. And so if they're not happy, if you don't have happy cows, then that's what not only are you eating things that have hormones and antibiotics, you're eating that negativity, the energy of the cow that suffer. But free range is so good, it's better because they're happy cows,
Yeah, and happy eggs too. So
yes, exactly. Yeah.
So and also the way that they manufacture beef nowadays is not, because you are eating that fear that that pain, that sickness. You are eating that. So you got to be careful of what's going on there. Do you recommend a certain kind of meat that's organic, of course, but
free range, free range or organic? And now we don't always have access to it because we're human and we go out to eat with our friends, and not every restaurant will have it. So bless your food. Even if you take a few minutes to just give thanks to the cow or the chicken or whatever you're eating, and just try to remove that negativity. We have the power to heal ourselves, but we also have all energy in ourselves. And even if you just put your hands, maybe be very discreet so people don't think you're crazy, near your food, and just send good energy. Say, whatever I'm going to eat is going to be positive, and it's going to be a benefit to myself and to everybody that brought it to the table.
Wow.
Thank you for, the farmers and everybody that made it possible, and again, just, a little bit of your hands, and just send that positive energy, just bless it, and just state, this is going to be healthy for me. Yeah.
Okay. So I got another question. What about weight loss? Because I know I've heard doctors actually say that obesity is really an illness now. So can people, if they go through you and get the right herbs, can you help them to lose weight?
So I don't have herbs to lose weight. There are herbs that speed up your metabolism, like fennel, for example. Like even putting a little bit of fennel every day in your smoothie can speed up your metabolism. And green tea is another one that can help. I don't like to promote that the herb is going to help you lose weight, because I see that losing weight, the majority of the time, is attached to an emotion. We overeat because there's something lacking, right? That the food is bringing us comfort. If we're only eating to stay healthy, we're probably not eat that much, right? But then we get a craving, and we don't stop and be mindful. Why am I craving this? Am I really hungry? Am I thirsty? Or am I feeling upset and I want this food to bring me the comfort that I need? So instead, I work with people to identify that. Be mindful when you eat. Why are you eating? Ask your question, why am I eating this? Why am I choosing? Why do I have this craving? Am I lacking a mineral, and that's why I'm craving this food? Or am I craving it for, an emotional component? So I work more with that. And now, obviously, there are people that have issues with thyroid and hormones, and then and adrenals, and that could be contributing to gaining weight. So I also look into that, right? If somebody's stressed, so they will work into the adrenals and try to bring them back to balance. And if they still can't lose weight, then it's sure something emotional going on. Nothing we all do it.
Yeah, but if you get the adrenals corrected, it's like the stress goes out of your life, and it's like, okay, you're a totally different person. So of course you're going to change your body.
Yes.
Dramatically.
Yes. And self-love is also a key. It's very important, because if you truly love yourself, you don't put something in your body that's going to harm you. It just happens naturally. It's not even an effort. You just don't do it. So we work on that too, identifying. A lot of people think that they love themselves, but then you look at their behavior and it's like, well, no, you don't, truly. So we work on that too.
And that, yeah. But that's another reason why your course, it would be so vital, especially with people who are overweight, but you're going to get them in alignment. And like I said, just the adrenals for me changed my outlook about life. And oh my goodness. So it's like, you've got to do that first. Get your body healthy first, and then everything else will fall into place.
Yes, that's correct.
I would think the weight would just naturally fall off.
Yes.
If you get your health right. And you've got the ticket. You've got the ticket for it, and phenomenal. I need to send everybody to your website. So can you give them the address so they can browse around, look at everything, and become as impressed with you as I am?
Yes, it's very simple. It's Dr. just Dr. Toni Camacho.com, and it's Dr. ToniCamacho.com. CHO.com.
Okay, and I want to send everybody there. Of course, on YouTube, where we're showing this as well, there's going to be a bar that has your website address on it, but also I'll put it under all of the show descriptions so people can see it. Just click right on. You want to visit her because this is a trip. If you have children, Toni can help. So what about children who are having learning problems? Could it be something physical that's actually blocking them?
It depends on the learning problem, right? ADHD tends to be, and I'm generalizing here, but nutritional deficiencies too. You start giving them omega oils and they start focusing better. A diet that is loaded with minerals helps them too. And if they still continue to have issues, there are herbs that can help, like catnip is one that helps them to focus. And so that's one of them. So it just depends on the dyslexia. I can't do anything about it, right? That's just something that's structural. So it depends on the learning disability and the issues that they have. Yes.
But that you can help the child and the parent. All they have to do is just feed them the herbs. And oh my goodness, herbs for a baby is so much better than antibiotics. I'm sorry, come on, let's get real here, because you're not doing the child any favor. And matter of fact, you're putting them in danger.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about, I don't even know if you want to touch on this subject, the vaccinations.
Oh, yeah, that's a very controversial topic. And so I'll tell you my personal opinion. I don't like them, but I also tell you that I had to, like when I had my child, I had him in private school and they didn't force me to give him the vaccinations. But as soon as he went into public school and middle school, I was forced to do it, and I felt horrible about it. But then I just had to tell myself, you're doing the best you can. This is the society that we're in. And I did the bare minimum. And I know the doctors were pushing me to do the meningitis and all the other ones. And I said, no, he doesn't need them. And they scare you. So I am a medical professional, and they're like, I'm listening to them like, I'm scared of what you're telling me, that if I don't do it, my son could die. I mean, they scare you into do it. And then I had to say, Toni, stop, think. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want the meningitis and all the extra ones. I just need the bare minimum. And I just prayed and sent good energy to my son so that he didn't have any side effects. And thank God he's fine. But I do believe that there's chemicals in it that are not healthy for kids, and that are creating a lot of the illnesses, like autism that we have right now. And the flu vaccine, it's worthless.
Yeah, it is.
I'll tell you, I was told, and I'm not going to say names because I'm not allowed, but I was told by the designer of the flu vaccine that I ran into him at a party once. He's the designer. He was the lead what are they called? Investigator or whatever they do with the team that was developing. And he says, I don't give it to my children. And he said, I don't think they work. He said, by the time they come out, the virus has mutated so much that whatever we put in there, it's not even out there anymore. And it's interesting because at that party, there was a medical doctor there listening to it. And she's like, oh, no. I give it to all my patients, and I truly believe that it works. And I'm looking at her. This is the guy that's designing it. And you're like saying the opposite. I mean, this is the guy that knows. But doctors actually believe it. Believes it so much that she's arguing with the guy that made it. It is incredible. And then people get sick too, because then you get a little bit of the virus. So I've seen a lot of people that get sick right after taking it. It's a mild infection, but still, you're putting in the body. So,
but you can help children if they have side effects from it.
It depends on the side effect, right? If they have fevers and stuff, yes, I can do stuff. And if they're in pain, we can do something for the pain. It is hard to treat little kids depending on their age, right? When they're less than 2 years old, it's even harder to treat them. But that's when they give them the vaccines. But yeah, and the cold and flu, it's such an easy way to take care of it. I usually around actually last month, I sent out to all my subscribers, like, here's some steps that you need to do to prevent it. And also the herbs you need to take to get rid of it within 3 days. I have formulas for the cold flu that I haven't gotten sick in a while, but when I do, it's like no more than 3 days. I'm done. Now, you're sick, but then I don't have any coughs afterward. I don't have any of this, bronchitis or like the snot that people walk around for 2 weeks afterward. It's just, you just get rid of it. And again, the herbal antimicrobial is something as simple as ginger. People don't know that fresh ginger is an antimicrobial. If you drink it in a little bit of you can take like 1 ounce of fresh squeezed ginger juice in an 8-ounce cup of warm water with a little bit of cayenne and honey, and drink that 4 to 6 times a day. And the ginger will stop the virus from replicating. And so it will slow down it's something as simple as that. But it has to be fresh ginger.
That is so neat. And I think it's important for kids, and they have to get sick because that's how they're building up their immune system.
Yes.
Okay, but they don't have to keep on developing more sickness. Once is enough.
Yes.
Is enough. But they don't have to have it 10 times, or every year they get sick and they have to stay home from school. They don't need that.
More than 3 days. You don't have to suffer more than 3 days to it. There's a lot of simple measures that you can take to not suffer through an illness. But you're right. I mean, getting sick is essential. And again, we're such a culture of germophobia.
Yeah.
Everything is like my friends like carry antibiotics. I'm sorry, hand sanitizer and this and that's. Like, the day that we have something resistant, I'm the one that's going to survive, and y'all are going to die because you're not exposing your immune system to anything anymore.
That is so true. That's so true. So when you go we're having a cruise, so you go on a cruise and you take all that stuff, you're not doing yourself any favor. You're not.
Of course, wash your hands before you eat, right? Or before you touch your eyes. But yeah, you don't have to overdo it. Like everywhere you go, you're spraying something.
Yeah. Right. Great. Oh my goodness, we're all out of time, but this was so fantastic. Toni, you've got to come back on my show. You've got to give us updates. I want everybody to go take her program, go to her site, check it out, and check out all her fantastic herbs. I don't really endorse that much, but I got to tell you, this lady has changed my life. And I'm not kidding you 1 iota. In 2 weeks, my life has changed. So I hope you can handle all the business, because I know I got a lot of people out here who are going to be running to you.
Well, I'm happy to help. And that's my goal in life, is to help people. So it will make me happy.
Oh, gosh. You've already made me thrilled. I am so pleased and so happy. My life has changed. So, Toni, thank you so much. And oh, God bless you. This is just fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another great show from Law of Attraction Talk Radio. If you'd like to comment on tonight's show, send an email to jules@loaradionetwork.com, and have a great week.